Frank Darris is my first guest. Frank is America's top insurance attorney, and today we're going to talk about the NFL and the players' concussion settlement that was awarded this week in terms of its final form. The NFL agreed to settle with current and former players, some 4,500 former players, with a lawsuit in the amount of $756 million for those players who had suffered concussions linked to injuries suffered while playing. Fast forward, it was determined wasn't enough money. And this past week, a final figure came forward. That figure of $756 million was pale by comparison with the final figure that was given. And that's what we're going to be talking about today.
I think I think what I see, Gary, across the country as the NFL players come for help, we combine short pay or small pay in comparison to, what rookies are signing for and first rounders, et cetera, with endorsements and the media and all the rest. And we compare their very short longevity, average 3.5 years. And you look at the mindset and the mantra, 15, 18, 20 years ago, where as we all played football, or you all played hockey, or you all played a tough sport where, the idea was you worked through pain. You got your bell rung, and you showed your manliness by getting back up, getting the smelling salts, having two buddies wrap the top of your helmet with a chin strap so that along with the ringing and the dizziness and the what have you that you got from the pop, your buddies were pushing you back out on the field, or you never left the field. You just played in a daze, and hopefully you didn't get a second one. And even if you did, we didn't have guidelines and we didn't have policies and we didn't have concussion programs. So now we've got a federal judge, a female federal judge, and good for her, Anita Brody, who, when this thing came to her back at the beginning of the year, she said no. She wanted more data. She wanted more information so that she could be sure that all, not some, but all of the football players who ultimately got a qualifying diagnosis, or their families were able to get a qualifying diagnosis, ultimately would have got paid. So I don't blame her. $675 million. Let's do some simple math. We have 32 NFL teams, $675 million. Call it, $25 million apiece? Staggering for those of us that make $25,000 a year, that they're going to pay $25 million into a fund. But let's remember, the NFL revenue this year is going to be $10 billion. As I look at $675 million divided by 32, and I look at the courage of the federal judge saying, no, that is not going to last for 65 years, which is what those who did the numbers projected. She rejected it, and she said she hadn't been convinced that the league had put up enough money to cover the 65-year lifespan of the deal, and in relatively short period of time, 4 months, we've now got a new deal.
For these men who have suffered concussions and memory loss, it has been a life-changing experience, not only because they haven't been able to play football any longer, but for many of these men still in their prime of their life, in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, they're having a difficult time just living life on a daily basis.